Thank you all for coming. I hope you're enjoying this cooler weather. I love it. It's really, really refreshing from the heat we endured, survived. Our welcome guest, Jody Thomas, is here from Amarillo. Bruce Edwards, the horror writer, is here from Amarillo. Linda Bossy, and then others. I forgot your name.
Oh, Jen.
Jen. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm so glad to welcome you back. Yes. Okay, we only have 2 months left in this year, thank goodness. and only one regular meeting. Next month, we're going to build Briscoe. You'll have to come back, Jody. Here, Bill and Liz. We have wonderful raffle prizes. One is Jody Thomas's book, Strawberry Lane, or Latest, and so whoever wins it can get it autographed. We also have some delicious bread, lots of 2 loaves, and books, and so anyway, if you haven't bought a ticket, a raffle ticket, you can do it anytime. We draw at the end of the meeting. Lunch today will be at Benito's. It's an Italian place on Salem. It's 2608 Salem Avenue.
Right next door to Cactus Alley.
Cactus Alley. I know. That's the name I was trying to think of. Yeah, so we'll be going right after the meeting, and it's always a fun time to continue our fellowship. It's always fun, lots of laughter. The school drive is going on. If you forgot your Kleenex, bring it next month. You're supposed to bring 1 box of Kleenex for the school drive. But, so you can bring it next month. Is there anything else special you want to do?
Next month is our last day for our last month for the school drive. And so if you'll bring, I was thinking we might get tempera paint, notebook paper, not notebook paper, but drawing paper. There's one on a list for 500 sheets for about $10 on Amazon I saw. And I also thought if we also could use big bottles of hand lotion. Because teachers are always going around squirting hand lotion on kids' arms. They're always asking for hand lotion. So, and keep bringing anything that you think of that a teacher might like. I was thinking that with somebody that's a gardener might bring a couple of sacks of garden soil and some seeds, because that's a great project for local kids. They're going to be calling me in January, and so we'll have I think we'll go after our first meeting. So anybody that wants to go help me, I'm going to need a pickup. So anybody got a pickup? So we'll find one.
Okay. All right.
Somebody
Okay.
Lloyd has got one. There we go. She'll help. Okay. And thank you so much for what you've done to support the school drive. You guys are fabulous. All is good.
Okay. About 2 weeks Kim Harris, went for an interview at KTTC Radio, and it was very interesting. She cut most of it, but maybe we'll get some exposure. She put the link up, and Debbie listened to it.
I have. Yeah, we need to
It starts. I know it starts halfway, and so we have like 2 minutes. And she cut out all the history, which she wanted. She cut all that out. I don't know. Anyway, we went and did it. Okay, I'm going to turn the meeting over to KJ, and we're going to talk about the slate of new board members. And we are not happy. Let's just say we're not happy. Because we have so many open, so many. And we've got to fill them, or it could affect our 501(c)(3) we work so hard for. I'm sure I hate to lose it. But if, I don't know. Well, anyway, KJ's going to tell you, and then I'll lay some more guilt on you.
I will not lay the guilt on you. I'm just going to tell you what's going on. We do have a pretty good board set up for next year. We have our president-elect, D.K. Kerr, will be our president next year. Our secretary will be Susan Doss. Susan, there you are, former treasurer. Bradley Baker will continue at membership. He's our go-to guy right there. I'll continue the newsletter. Aubrey Doss is our website guy, and he's staying in that position. Deb Goulden, where are you, Deb, is our events person, and we are super excited. She just joined the board a few months ago and has a billion ideas, so we're very excited about that. And Deb, contest anthology, we have Linda Massey has just joined us. We are so excited to have your input on our cookbook and other great ideas, I'm sure of that. And so we have 3 open positions. She made it sound terrible. I think it's only 3. That's pretty good. The open positions are, and we have a few nominees, but the open positions are president-elect, and we do have Kim has volunteered, but we want to know if anyone else is true. Kim's already done president for 2 years, so we would like to have some fresh blood. If anyone's interested. But she's an excellent candidate, but if you were interested, we would love to have you participate and be part of that. Programs is open, and Linda Brody is an excellent candidate for that. But if you're also interested, let us know. We will do a vote, and it will be a ballot. Social media and publicity, we have Jaden, Derek Salter. Thank you so much for volunteering. It's a pleasure here. And that is an open position, but like I said, she's put her name in the hat for that. The other positions that are open where we don't have any candidates, not that 3 more, so maybe she's right, but okay. Treasurer is open, technical support is open, and hospitality. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. Treasurer, obviously, we're dealing with our money. It's not a huge amount of time because we don't have a lot of money. But we do reports for the IRS and all that kind of information. And if someone's intimidated by that, we would like a coordinator, and maybe we can hire an accountant. So if that's something that you could do just to kind of gather the paperwork and handle that out, let us know. Technical support is helping set up for the meetings and any other events that we have where we would need to have someone come in and just make sure that things are working and work with the facility and that kind of thing. Not too time-consuming if you're already coming to the meetings, just a little bit of time at the beginning of the meeting. And then hospitality, which Wynn has done such an amazing job the last year. He is very busy with a lot of other cool things, and so 2 years, oh my gosh, Wynn. 2 years, and so we need someone to come in and they bring the snacks, they kind of help welcome people and just make people feel welcome. If we do any other events, it'll be some similar kind of thing. So if interested, don't be scared. If you feel like you have the time, or if you just want to talk to any of our board members about it afterwards, just to get some more information, or if you'd like to volunteer right this very second, you could raise your little hand and we'll have a chat. Anybody? Okay. Worth a shot. So if you're interested in, or just curious, or you say, I don't want to be the person, but I want to help, please talk to one of our board members. Catch me, or Linda, or Kim, or DK, any of the board members, and let us know. And that's pretty much what I have.
If you raise your hand and volunteer, I'll buy your lunch today.
Free lunch, y'all. Susan's going to take a ball. Thank you.
I buy your lunch anyway.
Anyway, I'll hand it back to Linda. Thank you.
Okay, so there's
I didn't want to.
layout, and we need people. We need people. And like you said, there's not a lot of work. Maybe an hour a week, or, I mean,
Probably not even that much.
no, not that much, a month.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will move on. Think about it. Think about it. People are tired. The same people over and over. They're tired. So Susan Doss is going to present our author spotlight. It's a 10-minute segment that where members talk about their career, their books, their whatever they want to talk about. But I can't wait to hear her because she loves coffins and graveyards and and scary things, and she would get along well with Bruce. So he's quiet. He writes horror. So okay. Well, let's hear Susan.
Hold the mic. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. All right. So technically, I don't have a novel published yet. The first thing I got published was a short story in Cal Park's anthology last year, and it is.
Can you move the podium over? That way?
Move it this way?
Yeah. You're hiding behind the thing, and it's probably shining in your eye. Just a little bit more. If
There
you
we
can.
go.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm a natural blonde.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
But that short story is part of book 2 in the series that I'm working on. I took part of it, squished it down, edited a bunch of stuff out, and just got it under the word count. Just barely, because I like to. I'm very verbose. I've been working on a series of novels for more time, longer than it should be necessary, because life, gets in the way. I have 2 autistic children, and I myself am neurospicy. So we tend to just kind of be like, I'm working on this, and focusing, and then we go, oh, squirrel, and we go focus on that for a while. So I'm hoping to get finished with book 1 before the end of next year. That's my goal. And the story is based on the biblical story of the demoniacs of Gadara. Anybody not familiar with that story?
I'm not familiar with that story.
You're not familiar. Okay. So at one point, Christ, the whole calming of the storm, goes across in the boat. That's where he's going. He's going to Gadara at that point. And when he gets there, the 2 demoniacs meet him at the marina, at the dock, as soon as he steps off the boat. And the demons that possess these two men call themselves Legion, or they say we are called Legion for we are many. And so that's the base core story that the series is surrounding. Each book centers on a protagonist that plays a part in defeating Legion. And they're all female, but they're not all human. And I am sensitive, so a lot of the paranormal activity, and so is my daughter, so a lot of the paranormal activity that is in the book is based on actual experiences that we've had. Some of the demons that are in, it's particularly book one, my daughter and I have actually seen with our own eyes. And so she's actually going to be illustrating them in the first book as police sketches. And because one of the main characters is a police detective, and his son is a sensitive, and so he gets the sketch artist to talk to his son, and his son starts describing things that he's seen. And so my daughter is drawing the demons that she's actually seen, and those will be in the book. So I had my first paranormal experience when I was 4, or at least the first one I can remember. I was 4, so I have a lot to draw from. Because I'm 51 now, that's a lot of stuff. I also draw from experiences that other family members have had, and coworkers and friends, because I used to work in 2 haunted museums at the same time. They were sister museums, and so I have a lot of stuff to draw on that, because a lot of my coworkers also had paranormal experiences, so they couldn't say I was a real crazy one, because, you know, they're also seeing the hooded figure in the Old West Gallery. So I don't have to really work very hard to come up with spooky, scary things to write about in my books. It's also history-based. They take place from in the ancient Middle East up till present day. So that spans a lot. So that they're not going to be like this thick. I'm going to skip. So because I love history, I love ancient history, I love Greco-Roman history, I love the history of the early church, and so the whole saints and martyrs and the Diocletian and persecutions and all of that. So that all plays a part in the series. The series is called Legion Rising, and each book, the protagonist, the heroine, maybe you would call her, has this connection with the leader of Legion. Some of them know about that connection, some of them don't. They learn about it along the way. The first book is called The Air, and it involves a phylactery. Do you know what a phylactery is? Anybody? A phylactery is just a little container that holds either Holy Scripture or magical spells of protection or curses or anything like that. The Jews have a phylactery on their doorpost when they're going in another house, and it has Scripture in it. And so that's what the artifact. Each book has an artifact in it. Because I like old stuff. I like dead people's things. And so they, so she inherits this phylactery, and in the course of the book, she finds out something about herself that she didn't know. She grew up in a foster system, so she doesn't even know who her biological father is. Mental illness also runs in her family, and so I also deal with, because mental illness also runs in my family, and so I deal with the subject of different types of mental illness, and how sometimes it's, people say, oh, you're not possessed, you're just schizophrenic. Or, in the Middle Ages, you weren't crazy, you had a demon, so we're gonna tie you to a chair and dunk you in a river. That's what they did to witches. But I've been writing since I was little bitty. My first work of fiction was, the first thing I ever wrote was a work of fiction. I had already developed a reputation for being a storyteller. So when I would have an experience, and I would like, the main one that stands out is when I was in kindergarten, I levitated in my grandmother's backyard. Something levitated me twice. In the backyard, I ran in the house, and I'm like telling my mom all this happens. She's still like, telling stories.
Oh.
But I'm not, it really happened. I was like the girl who cried wolf. She didn't believe me because I was always making up these, crazy, outlandish things. So when my father, I'm an Air Force brat. So my father got stationed at Hickam Air Force Base. So we moved there when I was 6, started first grade there. And the first assignment, the first week was we had to write about what we did over the summer. Something exciting, she said, that happened to us, or that we did over the summer. I'm like, nothing exciting happened to me. I only drove halfway across the United States and then flew on a giant airplane halfway across the Pacific Ocean. That's old hat for me at that point. And so it's like, okay, so what am I going to do? I'll make up something exciting. And I say, right when apparently it was very obvious that our house had never burned down. So she called my mom and asked my mom about it. She's like, no, our house never burned down. She was, yeah, I didn't think so. And so they both, talked to me both separately, and they were both like, you didn't think that was exciting, moving to Hawaii? And I was like, well, I've already lived in Germany, that's where I was born. I lived in Alabama, we moved several times in Alabama, and then we were just in Minot, North Dakota back then. No, that wasn't exciting. That's just the next move. And in 3 years, we'll do it again. It's just my life. And I said, well, to a lot of the kids, that would be really exciting. So just write about that, okay? I was like, okay. And that was my first written work of fiction. After a while, my mom began to notice that some of my tall tales had a common denominator, and that was things that she couldn't see. I did have an imaginary friend. But I knew he was an imaginary friend. His name was Jeffrey. I could describe what he looked like, everything. But he was an imaginary friend. I was very, he's not real. He's a boy I've made up to hang out with. Somebody to play with when nobody else was around. But then there were other imaginary friends that I could tell they were there, but nobody else could. And so she began to start paying attention because her mother is intuitive, or was. And so she was already very comfortable with premonitions and foretelling dreams and ESP type things. My grandmother would commonly, often call her up and just say, hey, what's wrong with Susan? And my mother would be like, no, hey, Susan, come here. What's the matter? I don't know, I feel good. I got a fever of 103. That kind of thing. So she was used to that kind of stuff. And we're very queer, Celtic and Gaelic descent. And so we're kind of superstitious just a little bit. And so there was the whole, salt, knocking on wood. You didn't knock on the laminate. That's not going to work. It's got to be wood, or the fairies won't hear you. So when I started saying, I don't feel well, she'd say, what kind of don't feel well? Because I had different types that don't feel well, depending on what was in the house at the time. I just began to call them watchers. And so I would say we lived in a little white house. It was a very old house. And when I was in kindergarten, and there was a watcher there. He stayed in the back room where my mom kept all the boxes. She knew my dad was in Korea. She knew we were going to be moving when he got back. So she didn't unpack everything. That would just be silly. And so she would put the bright pumpkin orange mohair rug over the boxes, and we would climb on boxes like we were climbing a mountain. And it would sit on the top of the boxes in the corner of the room and just watch me over the play. We'd have little tea parties in there, you know, we'd eat our lunch in there, and it's just like, hey, how's it going? Y'all eat here? No, that box isn't, you know. I would tell her, don't step on that box. You know, I'd say, Mama, that box, we need to move that box. She'd say, how did you know that? And I was just, well, I don't know. Because at that point, you know, who's going to believe? Well, the invisible man sitting on the top of there, yeah. He told me not to. You know. So you can see why my mom was like, oh, I was a big fat fibber for most of, you know, my preschool and kindergarten years. But I've always, you know, like Miss Lynn said, I've always been drawn to spooky stuff. When I was a kid, you know, bats, snakes, vultures, spiders, didn't scare me. I was the kid in the neighborhood who was picking up toads and carrying them around in her pocket. Not for very long though, because I didn't want them to die. It was actually cared about them. It wasn't just that, you know, I thought they were cool. But my mom worried when I was in kindergarten because I was coloring everything black. Black is still my favorite color. But she talked to my kindergarten teacher one day where they had a parent night, you know, where you go in and you're like, oh, here's what we've been doing. Look, we cut our shapes. We're using scissors, like they color in the lines, you know, that kind of thing. And of course, every picture I colored was black. And so she asked my kindergarten teacher, this worries me. What is there something? Should I be worried? Because she colors everything black. And my kindergarten teacher, her name was Yvonne Brenner, God bless her, what she told my mom next made my life a whole lot easier than it would have been otherwise. She says, there is absolutely nothing wrong with Susan. She is bright, she's sweet, she's kind-hearted, all the kids in the class love her, she's very smart, she just happens to color everything black. We have a boy that colors everything blue. I have a little girl who colors everything orange. She says all kids go through this phase, usually in kindergarten. They latch onto a color, and everything is that color. She says we colored pictures of George Washington for President's Day, because this was sort of the end of the school year. And she said, you've never seen so many purple George Washingtons in your life. She said, so don't worry about Susan. You don't have to worry about her. She's fine. And that came in really handy, you know, later on in 5th grade when we had what was called meology. We started bringing psychology into this classroom. And we had to fill out a form with our favorite animal, favorite reptile, favorite bird, favorite color, favorite tree. And I'm listing black vulture as my favorite bird. And the snake is my favorite reptile. And black is my favorite color. And spider is my favorite bug. And the people, the psychologists doing the little meology thing, they consulted with the school counselor. And the school counselor called my mother. Says, what are you worried about, Susan? These are her answers on this little survey that we did. And my mom says, yeah, those are all the correct answers. Those are all of her favorite things. And they said, that doesn't worry you? She says, no. And I'm going to tell you exactly what her kindergarten teacher told me. And she told the psychologist, or the school counselor, exactly what Mrs. Brenner told her. There is nothing wrong with Susan. If she treats her classmates with kindness, and she shares, and she does her work, and she's respectful to the teacher, that's all I'm worried about. I couldn't care less what her favorite snake is. It's the black racer, by the way. or it was at the time. So I take all of that, little pieces of me, and they're going in these books. So they're a little semi-autobiographical. Nate is one of the main characters, and he's 9 when the first book starts. He is sensitive, and a lot of his experiences are going to be my experiences and my daughter's. One particular scary incident that I've read at Critique Group a while back is actually one of Sarah's experiences. And I was going to bring it and read it to you, but I forgot it because ADHD. So some of my favorite writers obviously are going to be in the spooky genre. Neil Gaiman, Edgar Allan Poe, Frank Peretti, Ted Dekker are at the top of the list. Not a big Stephen King fan. Don't shoot me. Not a big Stephen King fan. I'm not a fan of his writing. I'm a fan of him, though. He's an excellent human being, and I love him. But it's just not my kind of horror. So I kind of steer clear from that particular subgenre in the horror genre. But I also love historical fiction, and so people like Elizabeth Chadwick, Sharon K. Penman, Bernard Cornwell, and Julia Marillier are some of my favorites in the historical genre. Sharon K. Penman has passed away a few years ago, so we won't be getting any new wonderful stories about Richard III from her, but the others are still around. And I guess that's about it.
I can see why you're a writer. You have the imagination for sure. So, our speaker today is somebody that I know very well. I'm 3 years older than her, but so we've been best friends ever since she was born. She's the hardest worker I think I could ever meet. She works circles around me, she has great talent too. And she has books for sale afterwards, so remember that. And I'll turn this over to Kim to introduce her.
Good morning. Susan, you need to definitely publish that book because I want to hear the story that you forgot to bring. And also, don't feel bad. Stephen King is doing okay. He's doing all right. He's okay. Yeah, he's got enough fans. Yeah, so don't feel bad. And I do also want to just give a real quick plug for the board positions. One of the things, the opportunity that we had last week to talk to the radio, just going over the history of the group and everything, and it really brought back, everything that's happened and everything we've been able to accomplish in the last few years since we started talking about putting this group together. And if you decide to participate in the board, you will be surrounded by the best people, the hardest workers, and the people who are so passionate about this group. And we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. If we have to do it, if I have to be president every year for, okay, that's what we're going to do. But it's such a great group of people, and it's so enriching, and it's a great place to bounce ideas off of other people and just get involved and meet with your people, with your fellow weirdos who understand that, that it's absolutely fine to have a favorite snake. That's great, And if you feel like you can't commit to a full position, but you could be able to help with that position, we can connect you with someone else who would partner with you, that would be fine. If you don't want to jump all the way into the deep end and you just want to put a little toe in, and then we'll take your little toe. We will, and we will do good things with it. So keep that fine. It's not an all or nothing kind of thing. We will be happy to and grateful to take whatever you can bring. It will enrich you and it will enrich our group. And now, Jan Sikes writes compelling and creative stories from the heart. She openly admits that she never set out in life to be an author, but she had a story to tell. And not just any story, but a true story that rivals any fiction creation. The entertaining true story comes to life through fictitious characters in an intricately woven tale that encompasses 4 books. And now the author can't find a way to put down the pen. That happens when you get hooked. She continues to write fiction and has published numerous award-winning short stories. She published her debut paranormal romance novel, Ghostly Interference, Book 1 in the White Rune Series in 2020, which won a bronze medal for Reader's Favorite. Jagged Feathers was released on January 31st, 2022 as book 2 of that series, which won an honorable mention for Reader's Favorite and took 4th place in the North Texas Book Festival Awards Contest. Last but not least, Saddle Hearts, book 3, released on October 19, 2022. And these books are all up here and they're gorgeous. I've been looking at them. She's an active blogger and an avid fan of Texas music and a grandmother of 5. She resides in North Texas. So please join me in welcoming Jan Sikes.
Wow, I have a lot to live up to, don't I? So, the thing that I'm going to talk about today is something that I've had to learn the hard way. As pretty much everything I've ever done in life, I think. I had to learn the hard way. But the word that strikes fear in the heart of every author is that 9-letter word, marketing. I'm not a marketer. I never was. I tried to sell Avon once and failed miserably. So I've had to learn a lot. I really have. But I've been very fortunate in connecting with some groups that focused on strictly book marketing, and I've learned a lot in 10 years. I published my first book in 2013. So 10 years later, I've learned a lot. And what I have learned has been through trial and error. Some things worked, some things didn't. But what I'm going to share with you today are all of these different avenues that are available to authors to try and help get your work out there. You can work so hard and get your book written and get it published, and then what? There are over 1 million books uploaded to Amazon every year. So when you think about those odds, I always think about it kind of like the ocean, and you've got this seashell, and in this beautiful seashell, you want people to see it, you want them to appreciate it. So how do you get them to do that? How do they find your seashell? So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you and I'll go through. Some things I'll go through fairly quickly, and some things I'll spend a little more time on. But mainly just figuring out what worked for me and what didn't work for me that might work for you. Because one thing I've learned is that what works for one author is not necessarily what's going to work for the next one. Depends on your book. It depends on your, the whole thing is that first of all, the first step is you've got to have a well-written book. And then you've got to have a compelling cover. And then you've got to have a blurb that draws people in. So it's just a whole process, and it's not always easy. But so anyway, I think Kim pretty much covered about me. But I have been both self-published and traditionally published. And I've been at it for 10 years. I've published 17 books, and number 18 publishes in November. So, thank you. So, Linda's right. I do stay busy. I don't really ever have any downtime much. So I'm happy to be here to visit with her and disconnected from everything for a day or two. Is marketing necessary? Well, the short answer is yes, but I love this cartoon. If you don't market, the percentage of customers finding you is 0. You might have a little handful of friends and family that are going to support you a little bit. But basically, you know, it's hard. And even for traditionally published authors, the publishers used to do a lot for the authors, and a lot of that has changed. A lot of that has fallen back on the author's shoulders to do. So, yeah, we're all learning. So the things that we're going to talk about today are there's a whole list. And so like I say, some of them I'm going to go over pretty quickly, and some of them I'm going to spend a little more time on. Because the ones that I've found that are more effective and that work is the things I want to talk about more. First and number one is a website. Don't throw anything at me. But it's like, you can think of your website as like your anchor. This is where everything is, and this is where it's like the one stop. If somebody is searching for you, that they need to be able to find it at this one stop. So to me, a website is number one. And there's so many different platforms out there. I prefer WordPress, but I started out in Weebly because they had easy templates. It was so easy to build, and I had no knowledge of how to build a website. So at one point, moving it over from Weebly to WordPress was a nightmare. But we got there. So to me, that is the biggest number one, is having some sort of a website. And there are lots of them that are free. WordPress has a free one that you can set up, and it's very simple. They limit how many pages you can have, but if you're just getting started, maybe you don't need 15 pages, you know. So website number one, that is just the number one place people can find you. The things that you always want to include on your website is a photo. Readers want to know the writer. They'll love your story, but they want to feel a connection. It's the same thing in the music world. When you go to a music show, if you feel like you have a connection with that artist that's up there performing, you're going to enjoy that music more. And it's the same with books. So I think it's important that you're visible, that you're transparent, that they can find you and they know what you look like. And then the second thing that is super important is to have all of your social media contacts all in one place on that website. So that if they wanted to go follow you on Facebook, it's click. They don't have to go look for you. People are not going to go look. They're not going to take the time to go look. So, you know, that is just, to me, the very biggest thing. And the other thing is that, you know, yes, social media is good, and we all need it, but they limit who sees your post. And I know we've all experienced that. I've had people that I follow that I think, oh, I've seen nothing from them in 3 months. And I go over to their page and there's all this stuff because they haven't been showing it to me. So another good reason to have a website is that it's just all there, and you can keep all of the updated stuff. Like if you have a new book coming out, put it on the front page of your website. If you are attending an event, put it on your website. Just to me, that's number one. The second thing that I think is this is probably going to maybe sound a little biased, I don't know, but I think the best social media platform for authors right now is Facebook. 6 months ago would probably have told you Twitter, but Twitter's changed and things have changed. So if you want to have connections and actually be out there, it's easy to set up a Facebook page, but set it up as a professional page. Set it up as your author page, and then if you want a personal page, that's fine. But to set it up as your author page, and then the reason for that is that if you don't set it up as a professional page, then you can never run an ad. And Facebook ads are cheap. They're not expensive. I've done a lot of them, and I've found some good benefits. So, moving ahead of myself, Facebook has 1.66 billion users. That's a lot of people. And So that the potential, and especially if you want to pay for a Facebook ad, if you give them a little bit of money, they'll kind of put you out there a little more. And they're not expensive, they're really not. You can choose how much you want to spend. The most I've ever paid for a Facebook ad was $20. And if I don't have $20, then I'm just sunk anyway. So, the other thing too is that you can connect with other authors. I mean, I love what y'all are doing here, that you can come together in person and connect with each other. And that's a beautiful thing. And you should never take it lightly. But connecting with other authors, I have author friends around the world and that I've connected with through social media, and I feel like I can call him my friend because we've kind of gotten to know each other. So the reach and the connections are invaluable if you want to market your book. If you don't mess with it. That's that simple. The other thing, and this has changed with Facebook, is the way they do their ads, because it's now all done in a Meta Business Suite, and it didn't used to be there. So that's kind of different. And if you're going to run an ad, think about it as a piece of real estate that you want to sell. Make it, when you're writing a blurb and you're writing your log line and you're trying to think of a hook, this is do the same thing with an ad. You want something that'll draw on, something that will get their attention, that might be, oh, okay. And then the second part of that is always make sure that you attach a purchase link, because again, people are not going to go look for you. So having that, being able just to click, then they can go find you immediately and hopefully leave with the book. But so, the other thing that I've sat in on some really extensive workshops on Facebook ads, and I've taken the Dave Chesson course, and one thing that I have learned is that you're better off if you create like maybe 3 ads to start with, set a very low budget, and then see, are any of them getting any response? If one of them is, drop the other 2 and up the ante on that one. So kind of experiment and see what's working and what isn't. And then you can't just put it out there and leave it. You need to monitor and see what's happening. Are people looking at it? Is it being seen? And then be open to make it different, to change. So it's not just a throw it up there and, okay, well, now we did it. You just have to keep monitoring it, unfortunately. So the other thing that we've been taught I've been taught in I've sat in on a lot of marketing workshops and attended marketing conferences, that the whole conference was geared toward marketing. And they always say if you have a series, that sometimes it's beneficial if you offer the first book of the series for free for a little time period. Some people do it permanently. I don't really go for that. I don't really agree that you should permanently make it free, but make it free for a short period of time. If they buy it and they like it, then they'll continue with your series. So it's a good way to also draw people. And I hate this phrase, know your target audience. Really? How do you know your target audience? I mean, I've written in several different genres, so it's not like I can say, oh, well, historical fiction, that's my niche market. No, I've written sci-fi, I've written romance, I've written Western. And when I started writing all those short stories, I was experimenting to kind of see what fit for me, and that's a really good way to do it. But so knowing your target audience is really a hard one. And if you are in a specific genre, that's easier. Then you want to target people in your ad that like that genre. So if I'm running an ad for one of my paranormal romance books, then I will target that audience in my ad. If I was running an ad for the Western, then I would try to target the audience that likes to read Western. So that kind of is what it means by knowing your target audience. And then just stay on top of how it's performing and to make sure that it is being seen and that they're actually clicking. If there are no clicks, then relook at it and see what you can do different. So that's kind of the nitty-gritty on Facebook. Instagram, I have a love-hate relationship with. I think it's a great platform, but I hate that you have to do every bit of it on your phone. You know, that little screen, and then you make the graphics, and then you got to get the graphics over where you can share them, and so, but at the same time, Instagram, it has a lot of pros. First of all, it is all visual, you know, because everything is a graphic or a photo, and there's over 2.35 billion users on Instagram, so it's a big platform. The other thing about Instagram is that it is more geared toward a younger audience, not necessarily kids, but a younger age group. And so if you're writing something that would appeal to 25-year-old, 30-year-old, that's a good platform. It really is. And you can run ads on Instagram. Works exactly the same as Facebook. They're joined at the hip. One thing I do like about Instagram is that you can connect your Instagram account to your Facebook author page, and so whatever you put up on Instagram, it will automatically migrate to your Facebook author page. So I like that aspect. I kind of wish it would do reverse, because it's much easier to set it up on Facebook. I'm sorry.
It does.
Yeah. And so Instagram has its ups and downs. Like I say, I appreciate the platform. I really do. I think it's a very good, viable platform. I just hate having to do it on my phone. And no links. You can't put any links. So that's kind of aggravating, because then if they see something that attracts their attention, then they've got to go to your bio to find a link where they can go find you. So that's kind of annoying. And I keep hoping they'll change that they will eventually let you put links up. So that's a downside. And then there's Twitter X. I hate seeing that X on my phone, but it is what it is. I think I have always loved Twitter because it is short, it's sweet, and it really honestly doesn't require a whole lot of follow-up. You put it out there, somebody reposts it, then it appears again. And so the whole key to making Twitter work for you is having followers. And a lot of that comes from following other authors, following people who put in their bio that they're readers, and then they'll turn around and follow you, hopefully. There are over 540 million users still, even though there was a mass exodus after Musk took it over. There's still lots of people on Twitter. The advantages are using the hashtags, and that helps get your posts seen. So like, say for instance, again, I'll say writing paranormal romance. If I put up my Twitter post and then I hashtag paranormal romance, and then I hashtag romance, and then I hashtag readers of Twitter, and then I hashtag readers, and then so anything, because those hashtags are, people actually do go on Twitter and search, and that would pop up. So use hashtags, use them where they're relevant. Every time you get into Twitter, it will show you what's trending with the hashtags. But if that doesn't apply to what you're doing, don't use them, because that's just annoying to people. And we don't want to annoy them. Images are always excellent to add. Words kind of get skipped over, but images will draw the eye. So it's always kind of good to have an image and to have it sized to where it will actually show up and not just be half of it, or not just be part of the title of the book. Or so sizing the image to fit is good. The videos and the reels, those are so good on all of the platforms. people are drawn to those, and I myself, sometimes I'll just start scrolling through all these reels and going, oh wow, look at that. So reels are good. Making a little short 30-second video, no more than 30 seconds. That's tops, and really even shorter than that if you can. But they're good, and they do draw attention, and just like if you're driving down the street and you see the little floppy guy in whatever they call those things, I don't even know what they call them, but you look, you can't, your eye just goes there. So it's the same. If you've got something that is moving, it will draw the eye. So videos, GIFs, anything that's moving, those are all good to use. And then if you are in a group like this, you all need to be following each other if you're on these social media platforms, and share, repost, retweet, share it out, and that just gets it seen more. It's through that networking that it actually kind of comes to life and works. The good thing about Twitter, as opposed to Facebook, is you can follow anybody on Twitter. You can follow your favorite movie star. You can follow, you can make sure it's the real page. I one time had Hank Wiggins Jr. following me. Wasn't real. But, so make sure they're real, but connect with other authors, and connect with other people in the industry, publishers, publicists. You can follow anybody on Twitter, whereas with Facebook you can't. And with your professional author page, you really don't. You can't, like, you can invite people to follow the page, but you can't send a friend request. It's not like you're friending them. You just want followers. So there's a lot, you know, with every platform, there's a plus and a minus. It's just, there's nothing perfect. Nothing. YouTube, yes.
So on all three of those, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, have you used the same ad and just go to Facebook and all?
Facebook and Instagram, yes. Twitter, no. Because it's such a different platform. So Facebook and Instagram, you can run the same one, and you can run it as an ad on both platforms simultaneously.
Sorry, I didn't mean that.
No, it's fine.
Post. Then you use the same post, like if you're going to post your new book, are you going to use the same post for all three?
Not usually. I usually try to make it different.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
Twitter is shorter.
Twitter is shorter. It limits what you can say. Whereas Facebook, you can write half your chapter if you want to. But as far as the visual ads, I usually make them a little bit different. Maybe even just the background, or maybe the wording, just change some of the wording, but I make them different. YouTube is probably one of the most powerful tools we have as an author, and it's probably the most underused. I am not the kind of person that likes to sit down with a phone in front of me and talk about my book. So I don't do those kind of videos, but I have made a lot of different videos, and book trailers especially, which I'm going to talk a lot about later because I love book trailers. That's just my favorite thing. But again, where do we go when we want to find out how to do something? We go to YouTube, look it up, gives you step-by-step instructions. We had to do that last night for Linda's printer wasn't working right. And after we tried every setting known to man, we went to YouTube, and guess what? It was so easy. So YouTube is very, very, very widely used, and it's a great tool. So it also has its own author community, which is AuthorTube. Instagram has its own author community, and they call it Bookstagram. And so, you know, following people, again, you can find people on YouTube that are doing somewhat of the same thing that you're doing, and subscribe to their channel. Look and see what they're doing. See what's working for them and what they're trying. And so it's a great tool. But as with anything, Consistency is good. You know, I can't say that I am, but I would like to get to the point that I could put up a video once a week. Even just, and they now have YouTube clips, which are like 10 seconds long. So quick and easy, and you're in and out. Be authentic to yourself and to your work. Don't promote something that is not you or that's not what you're doing or what you're about. I think people know that whenever it'll come across that way. It's super easy to create a YouTube channel. How many people have a YouTube channel in here? Yeah, it's easy, isn't it? Super easy to create.
And these meetings are being recorded and they appear on YouTube.
See, we're using YouTube right now.
I know.
I love it. The one thing that you do have to create a YouTube channel is a Google account. I'm sure we probably all got those. But it doesn't cost anything. It's a free platform. I've never looked into or tried to promote a YouTube video. I don't even know if they have that. I have no idea. Something to look at. But it's just another awesome platform. Again, don't make them too long. People will not look at a long video. Under 2 minutes. Under 2 minutes. 2 minutes is the max. You might hold their attention that long, maybe. People
1
are...
minute is better.
And what?
1 minute.
1 minute is better. 1 minute is better, but 2 is the max. No more than 2 minutes. You're going to lose them. They're not going to keep watching. Everybody's busy. Life moves fast. Everything moves fast. So then there's things that, you know, we kind of thinking outside the box, and at the top of that list is book festivals, which y'all have one coming up here. Unfortunately for me, over the years, I have seen a huge decline in the number of attendees to book festivals. People just don't come out to see authors anymore. Maybe if it was...
Everybody's an author.
Yeah, maybe if it was Stephen King, or maybe if it was, someone who everybody would recognize, they'd come out just to see, are they real? But they're just not as well attended. If you can include yourself into a festival that is maybe an arts festival, or even like around Dallas we have Traders Village, which is a huge flea market type thing. And then they have other festivals that incorporate different art motives and you stand a better chance of actually selling a book. If you can, because if your book, again, it comes back to what you created. If your cover is compelling and your blurb is interesting, once you get them there, you might sell them a book. And so I don't know where book festivals are going. I don't want to say they're dying, because I don't want to ever see that happen. But I feel like that we're having to back up and punt and think about ways to get people to come out to participate. And not just, oh, we're a bunch of authors, come see us, we got books, we want to sell our books, you got money? And that's kind of what they turned into. So I don't know where all that's going, but it's still a very viable platform. If you can get a person in front of you and you have that one-on-one, there's no better way. Yes, sir?
I think that the Comic-Cons are a good outlet for, instead of book festivals, at this point.
I agree. If you write in the genre that would fit in I would not fit.
The fantasy or science fiction or any of those.
Right, exactly. And you're right, the Comic-Cons are still growing. They're going strong. They really are. And they still get a lot of attendees. And people dress up in costumes and they have so much fun. They dress up like their favorite characters. And that's another thing. If you are going to do a book festival, and I've seen this done, and it draws people, you can dress up like one of your characters. And people are going to come and see, well, you're wearing an old-timey dress, what's going on? Or you're wearing a Viking horn, or a Viking helmet. So that's another way to draw people over to talk to you. once you get them there, then it's up to you to tell them about your book and to hopefully get their interest. But so when you do attend the book festival, you always need to have something you're giving away, even if it's just a bookmark. And I've made sales that were based on, here, would you like a free bookmark? And then they stop. And then they go, oh, well, what do you have? Like they hadn't seen me before. But it's a way of getting, making that and giving them something. So they walk away with something. So author swag is good. Pinterest boards, that's kind of an off the wall way of promoting your book, but I love Pinterest. And I have found that it is quite it's quite viable. You can put your book cover images up. You can put up images that relate to the book. If you're writing sci-fi, you can post things to your Pinterest board that have to do with science fiction or the universe or whatever. So I love Pinterest for that reason, and I've also, it's kind of my go-to if I'm looking for an image for something that I can't find anywhere else. So it has evolved way beyond recipes, which is kind of what it started out to be. Everybody posted their recipes to Pinterest. So it's still a viable platform. Amazon ads and BookBub ads. There's two different ways that you can approach BookBub. You can try to get a BookBub deal. They're very, very picky about what they take. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's 160. No, it's not. It's more. They charge. But everybody that I know who has gotten a BookBub deal has way made their money back and then some. But it's a lot of money to put out. Then you can do through BookBub, and if you don't have your books on BookBub, get them there, because I go there, when I do a review, I post it to Goodreads, I post it to Amazon, and I post it to BookBub. And you can do a BookBub alert if you've got a new book coming out. They charge you according to your subscribed followers. It might cost you $10 or so, but they send it out across the board. So BookBub is good. I think it's a great platform. And then you can always run Amazon ads. That's hard. That is hard. Again, I've taken courses. I've taken the Dave Chesson course on how to do Amazon ads, and it's very difficult. So they say that you need at least 300 keywords before you ever start your ad. And that's hard. The only way that I could do it, I bought Publisher Rocket. And that's the only way that I could do it. Otherwise, it would take hours to scroll through and find 300 keywords to start with to start your ad. Are they effective? I don't know. I've run some and they've done okay, and I've run some and did nothing. I don't know. Experiment if you want to. But it's hard. It's not an easy one. Linda's been experimenting with this lately, creating reader magnets on BookFunnel. And BookFunnel, I'm still learning, but it is a very interesting platform. It costs $20 a year to be on BookFunnel. You can put up a book for free, but they have to give you something to get it for free. So they've either got to subscribe to your newsletter or follow you on social media or something like that in order to download the free book. So it has a lot of potential. It really does. You can do a Goodreads giveaway. I see Jody's book all the time. They'll say, the author you follow has a big giveaway, and it'll be Jody. And I've done it. And so with Jagged Feathers, I gave away 100 ebooks, thinking that I would get some reviews. They're still not really coming in, but again, you know, you're making it available to readers, and it's affordable. It's not. It's a little over $100 to do a Goodreads giveaway. So that's another thing you can do. Blog tours. They are usually pretty effective. They really are. Especially if you are able to reach a wider audience. So, in other words, I have people who follow my blog, and I can put it up on my blog, but once those people see it, then they've seen it. So, exchanging with other bloggers is a really good way to put together a blog tour. There's also paid blog tours that range, and I'm going to give you guys a handout that has a lot of this information, but there are paid blog tours that range from $20 to $500 that you can do. Some authors, and I think this is so much fun, I haven't ever done it, but some authors create playlists to go with their book. I think y'all have met Taylor Moore. He put up a playlist on Facebook recently for his latest book, and I loved it. I love seeing that. It's like, here's what my characters would like. This is my characters playlist. So that's kind of a little bit of a thinking outside the box and doing something different to attract attention. Newsletters. How many people have a newsletter? I know KJ does. I see hers. Because I don't get yours, I'll have to subscribe. Newsletters are extremely effective, and it truly is the #1 way to reach readers, because you are in direct communication with people who have said, I want to hear from you. There's several ways that you can build your list, to build your subscriber list so that you actually have people to email to. Your website should have a sign up for a newsletter. They should be able to sign up from your website. And then you can participate in things like Book Sweep, Book Funnel. You give away a book and you get, the first Book Sweeps campaign that I participated in, I got almost 500 email subscribers. Some of those dropped off because they only signed up to get the freebie. But I kept way more than 90%. So that's a good way to, if you're just getting started and you need to build a list, that's a really good way to do it. So within your newsletter, and I love seeing all the different ones that come in and the different things that authors do, but make them fun. Nobody wants to read a boring newsletter, so make it fun. Give the reader something for their time. Make it personal. I often will include a picture of one of my grandchildren on my newsletter just because they're doing something fun and I like to share it. But give the reader something for their time, either a link to a free book on Book Funnel or wherever, or I like to give away Amazon gift cards because I think everybody shops on Amazon and everybody could use an extra little bit of money to buy maybe another book. So make it professional, keep your newsletter short. Again, people don't have time to read a 20-page newsletter. They're not going to. Keep it short, keep it sweet, and interesting, and be consistent. I only send out one a month. Some people send out one every day. I don't read those newsletters. I don't have time to open the newsletter every day from the same person. It's too much. So some people send them out once a week, some twice a month. It's up to the author. I prefer once a month, and I feel like I'm doing good whenever I can get that in that once a month thing. So newsletters are excellent. It's an excellent way to market. You've got a one-on-one communication with somebody who said, I'm interested in you. And so the open rate, don't ever be discouraged, because sometimes it's not more than 30% open rate, and sometimes it's more. A lot of that will depend on your title. Make your title interesting, something that will go, oh, wonder what that's about. Not just, got a new book, so does everybody else. So coming up with fun titles is kind of really part of making your newsletter and giving them a reason to open it, giving them something that they think, oh, I need to go see what that is. So that's kind of the skinny on newsletters. Email providers, you cannot send a newsletter through Gmail. They limit how many people you can send an email to at one time. So you need to have a provider. And there's a whole list, and I've got this list also on, I think I put it on the resources page. But they range from free to $60, $70 a month. I go somewhere in the middle. I've recently switched providers from MailChimp was it for me. It was easy, it was good, but now if you have over 500 subscribers, they charge you a lot and limit, and then it's up to 1,500, they charge you more. So I moved from MailChimp to Flowdesk, and I'm liking it so far, we'll see. But so it depends on how much you want to spend. But those are kind of some of the more popular ones that are the most common ones that people use to send out their newsletters. They always have templates that you can use built into their service, so that makes it kind of easy too. You just pick whatever template you want. For some reason, and I guess it's just me, but I wind up usually deleting all of the pieces out of the template and building my own. They just don't fit what I'm doing, so that's okay too. You can build it all from scratch. But once you get things in, like your logo or your social media contacts and all that, it's there every time. You don't have to do it every time. So then you just do your content and move along. But newsletters are awesome. Blogs used to be super, super, super popular. They used to be the way to market. I will say that blog use has dropped off some in the last 3 years. And I don't know if it's because people are just tired of them or if they've moved on to something else. I have no idea. But I still feel like that a blog is an excellent way to share things and to let people get to know you on a little more personal level. To know things, you can share things about your book that aren't in the book, trivia, different things like that. I'm winding down a blog celebration that was 10-year anniversary for my first book. It published on October 17th, 2013. So I've been celebrating a book anniversary. And this is interesting too, because the first 3 posts, I have a lot of interaction, and now it's kind of dwindling. It's like people are like, okay, we're done with this. Let's move on. But I'm almost done with it. And you can also include in your blogs, you can do something like a Rafflecopter. Has anybody ever used Rafflecopter? Yeah, you guys, y'all are on it. It's a good way to get newsletter subscribers. They have to sign up in order to enter the giveaway, whatever it is. And talking about giveaways, you can always give away a book, but honestly, there is an author on every corner giving away a book. And so I've found that I get more response if I give away an Amazon gift card or something that they can decide how they want to use it. It's not just another book that they're not going to read. And so, you know, the one thing that I know about this whole industry is that it's constantly changing. What works today may fall flat tomorrow. And what fell flat last week may be the hottest thing this week. Everything is always changing because it involves people, and people are fickle. They change, and their lives change, and their interests change. And so, you know, it just, there is nothing about any of this that is easy. The easy part is writing the stories. And wouldn't that be wonderful if that's all we had to do?
I know.
Oh my gosh, just to write the stories. But once you get the story written and you get the book published, then the work starts. Because you want, you know, you've invested yourself in writing the story, and you want other people, you want to share it, you want other people to see it and to enjoy it. And I don't want to sound discouraging, because I am telling you, if you work at it and you are consistent, you will find readers. They will find you. But a lot of it is being consistent. And hit and miss doesn't work. It's kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. Sometimes it doesn't stick. And does anybody have any questions about anything we've talked about so far? Because I'm going to move on into something else completely different. Yes, I do.
Now, here, handouts.
I do.
Okay, we do.
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that. Yes.
You had something up there that was an Amazon newsletter, and Amazon next to it send something. What was that was on your newsletter list?
Go back one slide.
Was
Yeah, go back one.
Amazon email provider.
Send grid.
Go forward one.
They go
Okay, go one more forward.
Where the paper like MailChimp.
Right there.
Yeah, send grid Amazon. What's that?
Oh, that is another platform.
Is it through Amazon?
It is through Amazon. It's owned by Amazon. It used to be called something blue. Blue something. And they changed the name. But it is through Amazon. And I'm sorry?
Was it Bluehost?
No, Bluehost is a website host. It was something blue. Sorry, I should have. Maybe I wrote it down in my notes. Let me look.
Have you used it?
I have not. I'm using Flowdesk right now. And until they change what they charge, I'll keep using them. We'll see if they go up. One thing I did like about Flowdesk is that for the first year, they will give you 50% off. So I've been trying for a year at the 50% off. And they don't, like the subscribers, the limit is like 10,000. I'm like, oh wow, I don't think I've lived that long. So I am liking it okay for the moment, but at the end of the year, when it doubles, I don't know, I'll have to rethink it at the end of my 12 months. But right now I'm liking it. But yes, SendGrid, and I'm sure if you look it up, it'll show what it used to be, but it is an Amazon email provider.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, who knew? Who knew, right? Okay, thanks for that question, KJ. All right, so the last thing that I want to talk about is something that I absolutely love to do, and that is putting together book trailers. I really, really do enjoy doing it. It takes a different part of the brain, and I like that. It can be time consuming, but so basically, you know, a book trailer is like a short movie of what your book is about. You hit the highlights. And again, as we talked about in YouTube, keep them under 2 minutes, no more than 2 minutes. But book trailers have become such a staple in the promotion game because it gives somebody a little clip to look at. And the reason that you should consider doing it is an investment of time. A lot of times, searching for the images you want to use, you can spend hours scrolling through images, and then sometimes you find them right away. But you put them all together, and then some people talk on their book trailers and say. I have never done that. I put words, but again, you know, the key word here is no more than 2 minutes. And so what I want to do now is kind of switch gears, and I want to actually show you what I have found to be the best tool and the easiest way to put together a book trailer from start to finish, and that is through Canva. I love Canva. I could, if I have to pay for only one thing a year, it's Canva. I will never let that subscription die. Because it is so invaluable. You can create so many things in Canva. You can create your memes. You can create, you know, you can even make a GIF of your book. Create the book trailers. I have used Canva to create business cards. I've used Canva to create pamphlets. I use it for everything I do. I've even made my grandkids' birthday cards through Canva. Because then it's something that's not from the store that I made. So what I want to do now is actually go to Canva and show you the process of putting together a video, just so that you can see. And I apologize, I should have already had it up, but I was so wrapped up in trying to get this screen to work. Bear with me. Okay, so here's what Canva looks like. And it keeps me signed in, so I don't have to sign in. I like that too, that I don't have to sign in every time I go. But to begin a book trailer, you would click on Create a Design. And then you go and find video. And then what you have is this blank palette to work from. And you can see that they've already set times for the frames, but those are adjustable. You change whatever time you want. And another beauty that I love is that you can incorporate a video into your video so that you have movement. And I'll give you an example of that. This is a book trailer I created not long ago for a new book I have coming out in November. And I did, no, that's not it. Here it is. I did put a video inside the video. So this second slide is actually moving. The car's going down the road. And I like that. I think it kind of adds to it.
Can you play it?
Sure. I should have already had this up, my bad. So you can see the car is going down the road, and it just adds a little, you know, it tells you kind of about who these people are. And they're riding in this convertible. This video was 1 minute and 8 seconds.
I like the taste in you.
How did you do the music?
I'll show you. I want to show you because I'm telling you, Canva has everything. So This book was part of a 8-book series that was a collaboration with 8 different authors. And everybody wrote a different story, different time period, all set at the same place. So it's at Harbor Point. But so over here on the left, you see all of your tools. You can, I'm going to go back to that blank to get a blank screen because I really want to show you this. Okay, there are thousands and thousands of images to choose from on camera. So you go over here to photos, and then you would type in, I don't know, whatever you were looking for, a beach.
Okay.
Then you have all these things to choose from. And I did not mean for that to go away. Gotta love these touch screens sometimes.
Oh.
And all these are copyright free?
I'm sorry?
Are all these copyright free?
They are. They are all copyright free. Everything within Canva is open for, it's licensed and you can use it. Okay, let me go back.
Do you need to identify Canva as a source in your
No.
video?
You don't have to. I have the paid prescription. Prescription. It is a prescription. It's a prescription for a wonderful way to market. It truly is. All right, I'm going to go back to the beach. And then I'm just going to insert any of it. And well, it's supposed to fill the whole thing, but it's not. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. Well, I have to put this down. I need more hands.
I use it in the corner. It works faster.
Okay, so we have a beach, and right now it's set on a 5-second time. I want to add some music, and I'm going to just search for waves, okay. So you get to try it out before you, I have my volume down. But then if you're looking for a particular song or a particular kind of music, like I had piano music on the at the Edge of Too Late video, you just click on it and it goes in.
Will it provide the creaking of the sails of a ship? For a pirate story?
Absolutely, you can. The only way you can add more than one layer of sound would be like if, say, the next slide was in a bar and then you want that kind of background noise, then you would stop this one and then start another one. And then we'll move seamlessly from one to the other. It's a fantastic tool. I will praise Canva all day long because it is such a wonderful tool. And it makes it so easy. I used to create the slides in Canva, and then I had to download them and then put them into Microsoft Video Maker and then make them into the video and then add the music. And here it is all right here. It's just fabulous. So I do love the idea of book trailers, and for any genre, it doesn't matter what it is. Yes, sir?
Can you download images from Pixabay in different places as well?
So here's what I've found. Yes, you can. And I'll show you. I have a lot of things. It's called uploads on here.
Yeah.
Can you upload music as well?
Yes, and I've done that too. So if you have a special song that you want,
Yeah, if you want Beach Boys music.
yeah, so there you go.
But you have to watch
And
it.
Yeah.
Watch that 'cause it's-
That's not, yeah.
But there are, you can go to free freemusic.com and beach boards, and they'll give you some sales.
Yes. If you want to talk on your video, there's this little button right here that says record yourself. And you can turn that on and you can talk. And if you wanted to read a passage, or if you wanted to read a poem, or if you wanted to read something from the book, then you can record yourself doing that while the ocean waves are going in the background. You're reading your poetry or whatever you're reading. But the downloads, and the new thing with Canva, I don't know if y'all have experimented with this yet, sorry, is the AI. You can make AI images within Canva.
Those aren't copyrightable though.
I'm sorry?
The copyright officer said you cannot copyright it.
You can. And you're not going to copyright your book trailer anyway, you can't. It's just a marketing tool. But this image here of the boy waving is AI created. That's an AI image. If you get an image over here you don't want, there's a trash can, just put it in it. It's easy. Let me think, what else? Oh, text. You have oodles and oodles of options for text.
I did a book trailer and used a clip of music from a particular writer, and I contacted them and asked if I could use a clip from theirs and repeat it over and over throughout, and they sent me permission to do that, and then I had to add that permission to my YouTube channel.
And in the credits as well. I did that too on another video I just made for the 10th anniversary of Flowers and Stone. I found a song by the Civil Wars that I really wanted to use. And if I can find it right quick. So I contacted them and asked for permission to use it. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. It's a block there. Oh, here we go. Then I have the credits, the Civil Wars, the Devil's Backbone was the name of that song, and then underneath it I put used with permission. So to me that covers it. And then again on your YouTube channel you could put that in your little blurb when you're telling what the video is. So that's kind of it. I hope that I shared something that sparked an idea or something you didn't know or maybe something you didn't want to know. But I've enjoyed it. Yes, sir?
I noticed on your picture transitions, it's a quick cut transition. Can you do blends and fades also?
We can.
Can?
And it's up here in...
How about on the music? Can you do a blend out on the music and change songs?
You can. You would have to end that one and then insert the next one. And then, so you're going to do a long fade out or a long fade in so that there's not a blip and it's a transition. But yes, you can. And Canva has a wonderful help. They have their tutorial is excellent. It's just a great platform. I love it. Really wanted to share it. And if there's no other questions, that's kind of all I have. I hope that you've enjoyed it.